long weekend because it's a holiday weekend, and I'm ready to get this thing as back together as possible, because obviously it's been an ordeal. If you don't know what kind of ordeal it's been, quick synopsis. I had wanted to change the water pump on this thing, and the bolt that goes in right here decided that it didn't want it to be compliant with life anymore, and it galvanized itself to the aluminum timing chain and the water pump, and I had to proceed to break those pieces to get that out. So bad news, broken pieces leads to chunks in the oil pan and aluminum shavings in the oil pan from various cutting devices. So after scoping it, it was time to go ahead and pull the oil pan off and clean it out before we put everything back together. So good news is all the bolt holes are okay. We're good. I still got to clean up this portion of it. Brand new timing chain I've thrown on there, and I'll show you that in a minute. Show you the old one. Well, sometimes there's a reason for all these things to happen, and maybe you're just not aware of it at the time. But look at the slot in this timing chain. Watch down there how much I can move before the chain gets tight. So I'm glad I'm gonna go ahead and replace this dude, because that is way off. And so I got to get this, since I have no oil pan on it right now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this all cleaned up so that stuff doesn't fall down in the oil pan, and then I'm gonna put the oil pan on it. Now the old oil pan is over here, and it's been draining, and kind of got a mess here, and it's full of all that sludge and crud and all this stuff on the outside, so it needs to be pressure washed. I decided I didn't want to do that, so I spent $100 at Summit and I bought a brand new oil pan because it, you know, I didn't have to. That definitely could still been used. I just wanted to get this guy on nice and easy the best way I could. So a brand new oil pan from Summit was about $100, which I slept on it because on Friday it was like 65 bucks, and then on Monday it was $100. So note to self, in these times stuff goes up quick. But yeah, this is gonna make it nice and easy. Brand new oil pan. I've got these Mahle gaskets. Here's the part number if you guys want it. It's OS 30520YTC, and they're quart gaskets, but there's actually a metal piece in the middle of these, which I really like, because it helps. It's kind of like a crust resistance thing. So I'm gonna be putting these on here in just a little bit. I'm gonna throw a little bead of silicone on and put those on and let them sit. And here's the front and rear rubber gaskets. I've seen a lot of people put RTV on these, and I'm not sure why, because these are rubber crush gaskets. There's no reason for that, in my opinion. So I'll put, like I said, I'll put RTV on these, get these sit on and tacked up, and I'll probably put a little bit on top, and I'll throw the oil pan on. So I'm gonna be getting to that here in just a minute. I just got the gasket surface all cleaned underneath the motor. Man, that thing is just years and decades of dirt and grime, so it took a while to clean. But I didn't show you all that because, like I said, I'm in previous video or this video, I don't remember, doing damage control. So I really need to get ahead of all this, throw the oil fan on. That stuff's kind of self-explanatory. Just a couple hints that I have found is these go in first, right, and then these go on top of them. I'm going to put RTV underneath here, and then I'm going to put RTV in the corners of all the round surfaces on the motor. So one's on the timing chain, one's on the back of the crank, where one of the main bearings is, the rear main bearing. So little RTVs in the corners, always on oil pans. I wish this was one piece oil pan, but they don't make it for 318. And I'm just blathering along. So let me knock this stuff out, and then we'll come back when it's time to get the timing chain ready and get all that put on. This is one of the longest days I've had in a while. I started about 9:30 or so on this thing and made good progress. Didn't make as much progress as I would like, but oil pan on. I don't like the way it fits, just FYI. I wrestled with it. That's why you saw me pull it off and take it on, or take it on, pull it off, take it on, pull it off, whatever. I don't like the way it fits. It fits good around the edges on the circle, but not on the bottom. Could be because it's maybe a foreign made part, and you know, it's just quality isn't quite there on it. Other than that, water pump's on, timing chain cover's on. Sorry, the GoPro hates the light. See, I can't even talk, I'm so tired. So got a lot done. It's my second change of clothes. I'm gonna go take my second shower today, because I had to run to the hardware store and get a bolts and some Loctite for the camshaft. I've got the balancer just kind of sitting there for now. I was trying to see how hard it would be to pull on there. I might try to get that dude on a little bit tomorrow and get that bolt run in on it. And well, I'm to a good point, because that means I think maybe Sunday, today's Friday, this thing will be running. So the hard parts are done, but it fought me every bit of the way. Like I said, I don't like the way the oil pans fit, so that fought me. I had to pull off the rubber things that I said you don't need to put RTV on, and put RTV on them. Famous last words again. The timing chain cover gasket, for some reason, wasn't jiving. I have no idea why, but one, it's a little long and I could have cut that, but still there was a couple the middle bolts didn't want to line up when the top and bottom bolts were lined up. So I 86'd the gasket and just did RTV. And I had to use a little bit more on one side because I had nicked the water passage with a grinder. So that's something I had to do to prevent some of the issues that I had with the galvanization of the bolts. I put red grease on there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's red grease on the bolt itself, and then RTV into the threads, and that's just for these guys. This guy is just kind of on here for now. It's the bolt I bought from the hardware store. I had to put a spacer on it, but I've got to put the power steering on tomorrow, and it's going to go right here. So I didn't prep that bolt or anything yet. It's just got a nut that's spacing it out so I could get all that pressure on the timing chain cover against the block, so that RTV will seal, and that'll be done. So I don't have a lot left. I gotta make a list, but I got a balancer, fuel pump, kind of get the fuel line back in check because it's all out of check, alternator, power steering pump, then radiator, hoses, clean the thermostat housing, put a thermostat in it, new thermostat housing, the adapter for the temperature gauge, and that's it. And that's what started it all, was a damn temperature gauge. I should have left it alone. Maybe this thing should have went to its new owner during the swap meet. I'm bitter right now, so forgive me, but this thing has just continually fought me, but I won't let it win, and I won't hate it forever. But yeah, a lot of progress, but a long time to get it all done. Happy it's all done, but I'm gonna go clean up and rest, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, and we'll see if we get it fired up Sunday. All right, Saturday morning. I got up about 2 hours ago, fed my dogs, and just started working on this thing. It's kind of nasty outside, but you know, it's not winter in Houston, so we deal with that and all the other seasons. But finally, some things have gone my way, and I got all the belts on, everything's put together, belts are tight, power steering belt tight. I got the dampener on this morning with nothing but the bolt, so I didn't have to go rent a tool, which you know, it's a good or a bad thing. I'm gonna take it as a good thing today. I think we're good to go. I got all the bolts tight. I've got everything just kind of ready to go. I still have to, I want to flush out the radiator some with the, which is over there, flush out the radiator some with some water and make sure it's flowing good before I put it all back in. But I have some plans today, so I'm glad I was able to knock this part of it out, get it ready. And I don't know where my oil cap is, but right now that's the only thing I'm missing. And yeah, it's going good. I'm very finally happy that it didn't fight me much today on all this stuff. So I'm also happy that I remembered how all the bracketry goes together, and you know, let me get a little video of that in case I ever need to reference it or somebody else does. Yeah, we're going good. So the rest of the plan this weekend is radiator hoses and you know, thermostat. We'll find an oil cap again. I don't know where oil cap is. It's kind of weird. And then water, and things should fire up. It should be good to go. I gotta put oil in it, put oil filter on it. So I gotta make sure I don't get too rushed for that. Starter's in too. I put that in yesterday. Yeah, so you're just listening to me go over my checklist. So I'm probably gonna make one today just to make sure I have it all in order. But I'm gonna go watch the Nova because I'm gonna drive it today over to Keith's house. Actually, gonna do some crawfish over there. So I'm looking forward to that. And you guys have a fantastic Easter weekend. I'm sure Easter's already gone, but it's Easter weekend, and it is what it is. Sorry for these videos being out a little bit late, but my intention is to put them out kind of close to each other. But I had to get this thing to a point to where I can get it running and driving again. So that so I can move it and some other things. So anyways, see y'all when we come back and put all the radiator in and all the hoses on, and that'll be here in a flash. There is all sorts of debris coming out of this thing. So I'm going to keep moving them around and just flushing it out. There we go. All right, lower rad hose is on. I'm going to throw the fan shroud back on here in just a second, and then it's all the top stuff. Okay guys, we are finally getting somewhere here. I just put the crossover tube on. I just got the threads cleaned out and got this prepared for the gasket and everything. So let me put some sealant on here. You know, this is corroded over time. There it goes. And with that corrosion comes pitting. That was not my prettiest job, but it is what it is. I'm gonna put the gasket down in place. There's a piece of, I guess you could call it slag, pushed out. Alright, gasket in place. And because it's got a very small lip, I'll probably put some around here too. But for this one, 160-degree thermostat, and there's a bevel for it. So I'm going to make sure I use the bevel when it goes down in there. So we'll get a bit of gasket here too. These kind of go that way. Alright, last step for sure, move y'all around a little bit, gotta put some RTV on these guys. That's what somebody didn't do in the past, and those bolts are opened up to water for the most part. At least I think they are. And you just want to make sure that those threads are sealed so you don't have issues with corrosion. Ooh, threads right in when the threads are clean on these guys. I always clean these bolts and stuff too. All the bolts that I've done here through my bench grinder with a wire wheel on it. I believe Derek from Vice Grip Garage calls it the cheap poker. So maybe that helps to be relevant. Man, I have made a mess. We don't want any leaks. There it goes. Okay. May not be a bad idea for their side either, but we'll see if it leaks. Alright. Next steps. Alright, a couple things. Here is very pollen covered odometer adapter for temperature gauge. And part number is right there, 2283. And I'm going to have to do a couple things. So I'm going to have to, I want to put this in line, like right here. So I'm going to have to cut the hose somewhere. So I've got to figure that out. And then I've got to thread seal some of this stuff so it doesn't leak. And it's not going to be too big of a deal. Just a quick elaboration here. You can actually also run a electrical gauge, as it has a place for a ground, some ground wire and some stuff for it. I don't need that, but just in case, you know, anybody's looking for something similar, I wanted to share that. But yeah, got it all sealed up. Now I'm putting it together. Kind of got an idea where I want everything. Comes with a couple hose clamps. So let me put one on here before I do anything. And then, yeah, we're gonna get this dude all set up. So it's gonna be in line just like that. All right, we are about to cross the finish line here. I just saw like a lizard or something. Anyway, this is the last piece other than putting on the little bypass that I need to do. But a little bit of thread sealer on this gauge. And this is a stupid thing that caused this whole situation, was I had to have this gauge working, right? But at the same point in time, the cooling system was clogged up. We had some some other technical difficulties going on, and it was probably good that it happened, but man, it sucked putting a whole oil pan on it, doing all that. I am making a mess. I'm aware of it. It's probably way too much thread sealant, but I don't care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much done. I've got to, like I said, put that bypass tube on real quick. I got to put oil in it, put an oil filter on it, and then we can start it after I put water in it, of course. Yay! I walked over here a little bit ago. Excuse my mess. It's a huge mess. And saw this and I was like, wonder what that's for. It's nice and clean, so I cleaned it. And started filling the cooling system. And I noticed that there's an entire bolt missing in the timing chain cover. Right down there, behind the water pump. And it's dripping down on everything. I have to take the water pump off to get to that. Luckily, I still have a water pump gasket. I have to take all of this off to get to that. All of this hard work that I did yesterday to get to that one bolt. Excuse me while I go cuss and throw things. And come take this stupid thing apart and fix it. Alright, that guy right there. Right there. Totally missed him. Totally missed that guy. I can't believe it. Like I said, this one was totally my fault. But I was gonna call it a day. But let me fix this thing and get it done. Well, it took me an hour to pull it all off, to fix it, put it all back on. I got water in the radiator. It's full until it moves. Belts are tight. No water's leaking anywhere. So, time for the moment of truth. Something I haven't started in 3.5, 4 weeks. Here goes nothing. Wish me luck. got a tick that it didn't have before, which I think might be a lifter maybe that bled down. I'm not sure what else it could be. But we got water moving here, so that's good. I'm gonna back it up some so it doesn't fill our house with exhaust. Running really good though. I just don't like that tick. The tick is quieted down since it started. In fact, it's gone away almost. I bet it was just a lifter that bled down. I don't even hear it anymore. Fantastic. If I can find an oil cap, I'll be really happy. But hey, it runs again. Water pump's working, get some of that air out of there. I'm just gonna keep it open for now. Yeah, that tick's gone. That's good news. That makes me feel better. See if I can get the idle to calm down. 60 pounds of oil pressure. Guys, I am cooked. This thing has just killed me. But I'm so happy that it's running. I'm gonna keep an eye on the temperature, and I'll come back and show you guys when that all gets ironed out. All that trouble and the temperature gauge that I was originally taking it all apart for isn't moving. So that's, you know, comforting. I do know I need a radiator cap though, because I don't think it's holding any pressure. So maybe that has something to do with it. I gotta find my oil cap. Again, I've talked about that before. But everything's back together. It's running pretty good. It doesn't really like to run smooth at idle, but this dude has a big old hole in it. So I've got one more thing to do to this truck, and I got the parts here. You'll see that I grabbed them from a junkyard in that video, and yeah, I'll be doing that before too long. But this thing has been down for about 3 weeks, kicking my butt every weekend, and well, I'm glad to have it back up and running again, because what a pain in the butt this thing has been. Just, I don't know if it's mad because it knows I'm probably going to sell it, and it's throwing a fit and wants me to hang on to it or something, or just it wants me to pay for some reason. But BEVO is still a good truck. You know, it's got great bones. It's not very rusty at all. The top's rusty, and it needs 2 floorboards. But that's, you know, that's about it. You guys have seen that, you know. Needs floorboards and needs the top. You know, someone's done some silicone sealing in there, but this is the only place as far as the cab or anything really to worry about. But hey, she's all back together and running again, and needs a good clean in here, some spark plugs and some wires. I don't know if I'll have a chance to do that, but got a bunch of grease on the window. That's what that is, because I did some white lithium grease to get these door cranks to work better, and it worked. And so I have a lot of cleanup to do. But it's mobile again. It's running, driving. Clutch chatters like crazy, but we know it needs a clutch, and I don't think that I'm gonna take that on. I think I've had my fill. But Bevo tested me, and I won. But it was fighting every bit of me. So, all right, well, that's gonna end it for this little, I don't even know what you want to call it, series, but it's more like of a torture series with the BEVO 78 Dodge Ramcharger and a nightmare of a water pump change. Which I'm glad I did, because, you know, that water passage was plugged up and the timer chain was really, really bad. So, I'm glad that's done. I'm not sure entirely what else I'm going to do with it, but at least it's in a good movable shape. And yeah, we'll send it on down the road. If you've been watching this series or some of the other series and seeing my pain in this one or my joy in other ones like the Dakota, we certainly appreciate it. Nothing's more valuable than your time, and so if you take your time out to watch some of these videos, immensely we thank you. And with that said, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube with @TheRacerXGarage. Other than that, I'm gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna see y'all shortly. Until next time, you know the deal. Y'all be good.